We've upgraded. The Elevate Media podcast is officially the upgraded man. The artwork is new. You might still hear the old name pop up in some episodes, but don't sweat it. We're the same show, just built specifically for men ready to level up. Now let's get to work.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/zip to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
Welcome to the Upgraded Man podcast. I'm Chris Anderson, and this show exists for one reason: is to help men who refuse to stay complacent get better every single day. And today I'm going to break down these 5 pillars, like I mentioned, of becoming an upgraded man. And these are the 5 areas, again, I'm committed to, and hope you are too, committed to growing in. And so we're going to dive into these week after week in some form or fashion. So let's get into it. And guys, again, why I love live streaming, there is no production. This is live. So when I fumble my words, I fumble my words. When I say something, I have to correct it, I correct it. And I think it brings some transparency. And more businesses and brands are going to start doing the live streams in the future. So if you're into that kind of side of things, entrepreneurship, business, like look for that, because with AI and all the, AI content that's not real people, we're going to need more relational connection. And I love this. I love seeing the comments. Michael, always moving forward and upward. Absolutely, my friend. What a fantastic comment. Always. We're always moving forward and upward. So again, I get on my soapbox at AI and stuff, but yeah, I love live streams. I love interaction. So if you have any questions, comments, feel free to put them in there, and Kevin will get my attention and we'll take them. So, but the first pillar of the upgraded man is mindset, right? Man, we have the highest rates of suicide in the world. Because we don't get to talk about it, right? We don't talk about our emotions. We don't talk about our mindset. And there's a combination there that we gotta work through, right? There's a lot to learn about our mindset and emotions and our mental capacity to be healthy, but still be, masculine. So I think there's a good combination. We'll be able to have some really great expert guests talking about these topics to help us learn to drop the labels, right? To control what we can control in life, and ask, what can we learn from every situation, good, bad, or ugly? So I'm super excited to bring on experts who are going to be talking and helping walk us through improving our mindset, improving our mental health, because that was a big part of my journey. Mental health was something I really struggled with in college and not really seeing the point of being here, all that stuff. But super grateful that, for me, for God kind of woke me up and showed me the purpose and showed me that, I'm here for a reason. And hopefully I'm living that, doing my best I can each day. And, if I just help one person, I think, that'd be good for me. So that's the first pillar, let's go Roscoe Reels. Let's do it, Kevin. So that's the first pillar, is the mindset, it's the mental health. And then that ties into our second pillar is health, just in general. Some of I used to be an athletic trainer for a while, went to school for it, got my master's in it. And so I'm a big proponent of health and wellness and fitness. And so this is, a super important thing, right? Because health is invisible, right? Until you lose it. And it's the only thing that matters and the only thing you focus on. So we've got to make it a non-negotiable now. What can you do to be healthier today? If you have kids like me, like what am I doing today so I can still pick up my grandkids when that day comes, God willing. So we have to make the right choices. And that's nutrition, that's supplements, that's fitness, working out, all of these crazy things, saunas, like I just bought, things that we can do to improve our health. And because we're the captains of our ships, right? If we go down, the whole ship goes down. Whether you be a solo person, whether you be married, whether you be in a relationship, doesn't matter. If we go down, the whole ship goes down. So we got to appreciate it now when we have it, because it's the only thing that matters when you lose it. And you can't build a business. You can't be good in your relationship. You can't do anything well if your health's not there. You can do your best, but it's still going to be hard. So that's the second pillar. The third pillar, relationships. Oh, man, don't talk to my wife. Just kidding. Relationships in multiple facets. So again, relationships, like I said earlier, over revenue. That's marriage. That's dating. That's corporate. That's business. That's friendship. That's people you disagree with. I've had conversation where, I did not agree with basically anything they were talking about, and we were able to have a conversation. So relationships over revenue is the best currency. And so just treating people well, making a positive difference, and the rest will follow. You'll be able to learn a lot. You'll be able to have a great time. You'll be able to do a lot of great things and get a lot of doors open just from building and nurturing relationships from all across, the facets of what relationships are. So, because a lot of times, I've been guilty of this too. And again, anything I talk about, like, I'm mostly guilty of as well, or have had issues with, or have overcome, or, understand it to some point. So we get caught sometimes chasing a transaction, and we miss the actual person, right? From a business standpoint, we're just going for the sale instead of focusing on how we can provide value and make a difference. So focusing on the person, invest in people first, opportunities will follow. The fourth pillar, and I think one of the biggest stressors in life for people, period, just look at the gas pumps, finances, right? Finances, and it's crazy. A lot of the times it comes down to spending money. We spend money to impress people that don't matter, right? Like, what are we doing? What are we spending money on? A lot of times, is it a new gadget? Is it a brand new car? Is it a bigger house? All to impress the Joneses and keep up with them. And, just put so much stress, buying things we don't need, going into debt for things that don't matter. We got to think long-term, right? We've got to build that financial freedom, because when we do that, you're going to have more money to put towards experiences, to do fun things, and more importantly, to be able to give back and serve others. And so finances will be one of the pillars. We'll bring experts on to guide, direct, and just give good information on all things finances, whether it be, debt, investing, setting up your business right, setting up, your wills and trusts and all that thing to prepare. Everything we can do to help financially improve our situations are going to be some of the episodes too. And then the last pillar, and I really love this one because I think this one is forgotten about. If you focus on all others, I think sometimes we get so focused on upgrading that we forget this pillar, and that is living a full life. I couldn't think of a single word for that one yet. So if you think of a word that covers living a full life in totality, let me know. But right now the pillar is living a full life, because I think we forget to live, right? We get so busy building and growing and doing that we forget to just live, right? We forget to be in the moment because we only have one life, and it's going quick, guys. I don't know if you felt it, but time is flying. It flies even more when you have kids, but it goes fast regardless. So don't wait. We've got to go out and live it, right? Tomorrow's not promised. The next second is not promised. And so living every moment the best we can, going and having experiences are so important. They compound in ways that having stuff that collects dust never will. I still think back to the experiences I was able to have when I took a chance and, invested, I should say my parents invested in myself to go play soccer in Holland. Just me, sophomore, I think, in high school, by myself, flying to Holland, no parents, joining a team of guys I've never met, trying to play in a tournament. But that is something, and I'm grateful for my parents helping me with that experience, because it's something I've never forgotten. The moments, just a different culture over there, the beauty of the buildings, the history, the food, like literally still vividly remember all of that today. And of course, the experience of getting better at soccer and seeing European play and competing against them was amazing. But just what I was able to see, being able to invest and take a mission trip to China. I never in my life thought I'd stand on the Great Wall of China. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to make it back. I don't know. But I took that risk and I invested the money to go on that trip, to run a leadership camp. It still blows me away. Just thinking back to standing on the Great Wall and how huge it is and how small I felt. I just put life into perspective a little bit because I physically was on it. You can look at the stars and you can see millions of stars and see how little you are. But when you're standing on a physical thing and it just goes for miles and miles and you feel like the smallest thing on it, it's just crazy. So we're going to have some great guests that have done amazing things, that have pushed the limits of life, some that have, accomplished amazing feats. We've already had gold medalists. We've had Olympians on the podcast, things like that, people who have overcome diseases and run ultra marathons, I think it is still, or miles and miles for with, crippling diseases. Like it's people like that, to give us motivation and hope. We'll have more of them on the podcast just so we start trying to see, the moments we're in and live life fully. And I don't want us to miss that one after everything else, trying to improve everything else, that we miss a life because we're trying to just become better. And that's, you don't have to travel to China to live life fully. I'm not saying that, but, and it's something, I get better at, not being focused on business stuff when I'm around my kids. Like when I'm with them, like be focused fully in that moment. That experience matters. It's just little things, and we're going to improve on all this together. And so I'm super excited for this next step. If you're a lady out there who's been listening to the Elevate Media podcast, and now you're at the Upgraded Man, I hope you can still get value out of this. It might not directly tie to you, but I'm sure you know some men out there that it could benefit. So share this with them. I'm really excited for this next direction. Really honing in the market, being able to help a lot of guys, building a community around it. Got some great ones lined up already to be in the pipeline. So there it is. Mindset, health, relationships, finances, living fully. The 5 pillars of an upgraded man. And this is the blueprint we're going to follow for the show going forward. Every guest, every solo episode I do, every conversation, it's going to keep coming back to these 5 pillars in some way, form, or fashion. Because the goal, guys, isn't just to be successful, quote unquote. The goal is to be better every day. Better man, better husband, father, friend, leader. And so if that resonates with you, I would love for you to go follow the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Hit that follow button and share this episode with a guy or two in your life who needs to hear it, who would enjoy upgrading themselves. And let's do this together, because the journey is better with friends and not alone. So that's all for today. Again, super excited for this next point in the podcast. Thanks for tuning in live. Thanks for watching the replay. Thanks for following the show. But I'm Chris Anderson, and we'll talk to you again next time.